some of you may remember, we've been having problems with the damage being done to koi tails pretty much for the last 3-4 months. At first I thought it was whales, and maybe it was, but lately we've been feeding whales well, and the damage was still occurring in the last, say, 2 months. And I was struggling to determine who that was, and finally I know who that was. I caught him several times in the egg. It's Arapaima. As you can see, a lot of our koi have damaged tails, badly damaged. As soon as I let them go hungry, even a little bit, they go after koi. Unfortunately, it took them killing one koi yesterday for me to get the point. Some of the koi, like this black and white, drew its tail back. See how it's set up when the Arapaima was near? Drew its tail back and they did it again. So I'm building new koi home, or temporary home, as quickly as I can. Meanwhile, I'm feeding the Arapaima every day, trying to avoid any further damage. I thought they were smarter. I gave them too much credit. I thought they were eyeing their prey, and if they couldn't swallow it, they wouldn't try, which used to be true, as I said, until the last 2 months or so. I don't know what changed, except their size and confidence. They probably put another 6 inches. And now they think they can take whatever they want. They couldn't swallow that koi. That koi was over 2 feet, or about 2 feet. They tried head first, tail first. There was too much damage, I had to put it down. But this is who was doing it, the Arapaima. Wells has been pretty well behaved. Hasn't been eating that much, as in the beginning of the summer or in the springtime. When it suddenly picked out, and then it stopped, and never happened again since then. Arapaima, man. I gave them way too much credit, or at least they misled me before. They weren't doing it for sure before. But now I remember with our prior pair, sometimes they would get carried away too. They were trying to eat some, when they were about 3 feet in the 4500. So our prior pair, again, I'm talking about, I don't know, 2018, 19, 17 to 19. They would try to swallow some tinfoil barbs, bala sharks, which they could not swallow, but they still tried, and damaged them, and some of them they eventually were able to swallow, which is when they got booted from the less aggressive 4500 into the jumbo 4500. But the more I'm thinking and looking at this tank is that it's gonna be impossible to keep everything smallish, or much smaller than Arapaima and others in here. So I'm thinking about transferring all the jumbos in here again. Yeah, I know we discussed it before at length, but I'm thinking again, hanging the curtain in the back to protect the vertical wall, the rubber liner on the vertical wall, and then just take my chances on the bottom being possibly punctured by the catfish. Some koi are smarter, like this failed asagi or this yamabuki. They usually have no damage. No damage, I'm surprised, on the large oral barbel. I'm sure that Arapaima caused this damage too, not directly on the paralyzed golden mahseer. Not directly, they just spooked him and he ran into something pretty hard and broke its spine. This one is still okay. So that also tells me that even mahseer cannot live in here. I don't know about the phoenix carp. They're pretty beefy, but I guess they could be tried still, until the first problems evolve. I also don't know about the cigar shark. It's pretty huge. But with all the jumbos in here, the red tails, the jow, the hybrids, the paroons, I don't know how this will play out. I cannot put here Distichotus and pacu. No way. These guys will destroy any liner that has folds and creases. Whatever they can get a hold of, they will chew it up and puncture it. So those guys will have to find their own home, separate in a hard wall enclosure. So smaller mahseer, any kind of koi, perhaps the smaller giraffe nose catfish will have to go. Giraffe seems to be, I mean the catfish, they haven't touched. Neither have they touched the 7-stripe carp. That's the smallest one right in front of us. It's a male, we have 4 of them. Never were touched by the Arapaima. I don't know why. I mean it's a good thing, but I don't know why that never happened. But I don't want to leave them here. It gives me constant worry that they may be eaten or they may attempt to eat them. The 2 helicopters can stay here, of course. I mean, they used to be the bigger one, the toothster. He used to live with those 2 bigger Arapaima we had at 5.5 foot, no problem. They don't seem to pay attention to them, or for some reason. Yes, monstrosities, I'm talking about you. The poor guy, the paralyzed one, I mean, he got paralyzed, what, probably 2 weeks ago? Nothing's touching him. I mean, no new damage on him, so I don't know why, but Arapaima don't go for him, even though he must be emitting all the signs of weakness and some distress. Well, that's our latest development in the 25,000 gallon. The knife is also, the surviving knife is okay in here. She's sitting over there in the corner under the waterfall, so you can't really see her well, or maybe at all. Sturgeon, of course, should stay. If anything touches the sturgeon, they will go, even the Arapaima. But nobody's touching them, thank goodness. Mahseer Arapaima seem not to touch. Or if it happens, it happened maybe once, an odd one out. Is the koi. Yeah, the little nick in that mahseer, which we call progenius. This is from a netting from 6 years ago. This is not anything recent from, it's not from the Arapaima, of course, either. Alright, thank you for watching as always.